Oh. Huh.
What's up? We're live.
Are we?
It says we are. We got
Okay.
viewers.
Well, we're definitely live on. Okay. That's cool.
They can just hear us talking over the screen.
Excellent. Okay. Well, we'll see you all in just a moment, and I'll explain.
Oh, there we are.
Man, wouldn't be a show if there wasn't something new to tackle. Let me tell you something. Since the last time we did a broadcast, which was what, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, whatever it was, the Mr. Musk has changed the rules. So we are absolutely live on YouTube. We are absolutely live on your channel on YouTube, on Twitter, my channel on Twitter, and not on our Art First channel anymore.
Oh.
We are not premium subscribers on that channel.
Ooh, that's how they make that money.
Apparently starting like now, because this was not a problem in the past. So I got the alert that your stream is wonky and we can't do everything for you, but then it went live. So welcome to the new,
what we got to do,
the new system. We're still live. We're doing it. And yeah, I mean, ups and downs, market, whatever, all the things.
Yeah, a whole lot has happened in the past 2 weeks.
Seriously.
Between, last week I was at the Christie's Art and Tech Summit. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
We had presidents almost die. Some of them quit. So all sorts of stuff politically. Crypto almost died, and then now it's kind of back to life again.
Back from the dead.
And right now we're in the midst of BTC Nashville.
Yeah.
So a lot of our friends are down there having fun, repping ordinals and doing awesome stuff. And you, sir, had a drop release today as well.
I did. Thank you. Yeah, it was. So I've been working on it for months. Very excited about it. I put it out there. I did it a little bit differently. It's a smaller, more intimate collection, and some private sales we did yesterday for people who expressed interest. And today just put it out there. And I know it was in the midst of a giant storm of things that are working against me, but I'm kind of in it for the long haul anyway, so I don't mind, and I've had a lot of really good feedback. So like when there's connections that people make with it, then woohoo!
Yeah, go check it out.
Thanks. But today I am super stoked. I have no transition to do this with at all, other than the fact that I'm just genuinely excited. So there you go. From one excitement to another, I'm really excited for our guest today, who is an animator, a filmmaker, a comedian. He doesn't say he's a musician because apparently I can't speak. He doesn't say he's a musician, but that's wild because he does all the music for his pieces, and they are gorgeous.
A composer, perhaps.
A composer, yes. That sounds a lot better. From top to bottom, absolute rock star. Let's bring to the stage Ryan D. Anderson. Hello.
Hello.
Woo.
Thank you for having me. It's a delight.
Yay, man.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
I think we're both fans of your work. I feel like you have a very specific, unique style that whenever I see it, I immediately recognize it, whether it's, I think, the way you animate things kind of twisting and turning, or whether it's this kind of grainy effect that I'm excited to get into with you. But I think, you're one of those artists in the space that has kind of cemented their style.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of your work without thinking of the grainy effect and just how well it's used in terms of intentionally, but yeah, so that I would love to talk about that. But also, you've got a really cool background, man. I actually found your work through kind of semi-random, like a YouTube comedy skit that you had done, where you were telling people to buy you. And it was the funniest damn thing that I had seen, and I laughed so hard. And then I was like, I gotta find this guy and follow this guy. And then I saw that you were like in the space, and I was like, wait, what? So Yeah, man, you go from, you have like a background in comedy, and it shows in terms of like some of the darker things you do in this, in your art. But can you tell us a little bit about like how what's that pivot like, or like how do you straddle those things?
Well, first of all, thank you. That was a wildly kind intro from both of you. Um, but yeah, no, I had no idea that was how you found me. I thought it was just through like CT or something. But
No,
yeah,
it's
no,
random.
yeah. How I still have no idea how play in both these worlds. I guess I'm still. That's been a thing I've been trying to figure out since I got into, I guess, NFTs and stuff like that. Like the stuff that I was releasing originally was just more nostalgic and had more of a melancholic vibe, I guess. It was just like, where my head was at when I was making this stuff. But after a while, it's like, I have all this like history in comedy and stuff. And that's the whole reason I got into animation was for comedic purposes. So I wanted to do more of that. And so I just started doing more of that. And I still do both, but I don't know. It's just a human nature sort of thing where it's just like, your art's going to reflect what's going on in your mind space.
I know at some point I think we had talked in the past, you had a little bit of a concern because everyone kind of knew you with the melancholy, more moody stuff. And then you had this like super goofy, fun stuff. And they were both kind of visually in the same style, but very, different audiences. And yet I feel like they play really well with at least the audience that we're all, generally speaking to on like crypto Twitter. It seems like the overlap is a lot better than maybe you would have expected.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I assume that that's true, but I just like because I don't know. I guess I really haven't heard people say like, oh, I don't like this side of the things, but I like this side of the things. But I imagine there's people out there, and that's it's fine. People like are gonna like what they like and not like what they don't like. But yeah, no, it seems to be working out.
Yeah, I think
You said the comedy came first and animation you used to kind of augment the comedy. Is that how you approached it? And how did you go about learning animation in that sense?
Oh my God. So I've been doing comedy since maybe 2012, something around there.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I started I had a radio show in Vancouver, and then I got into improv and sketch, and I was doing those almost like nightly over there. And then I started traveling for doing all this stuff. And I wanted to do more stuff that was because I was doing live shows and things like that, but then I didn't have anything online. And so I wanted to film, sketch, but if you're ever in charge of a group of comedians, it's very difficult to try and get everyone together
Yes.
for a specific period of time to film something. So I was just like, I'll learn how to animate. And then so I had a little bit of I used to work in post-production, so I knew After Effects and stuff like that. So I was like, I'll just try and figure out how to make animations. And then one thing led to another, and I got into Blender, and then so on and so forth. I just learned through YouTube, basically.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's the amazing thing about especially Blender, is that it's so open source that the education for it is also extremely open source.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, Blender's also so hard. Such a difficult thing to jump straight into. As an After Effects user, I find Cinema 4D a little more similar. But it's interesting with what you're building with Blender, especially. It's got all these kind of character rigs and kind of. Are you modeling these things as well? How do you go about building up a scene like that?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, when I first started doing stuff in Blender, I was doing really basic stuff. I was just kind of I'm gonna see if I can make a room, and then I would make a room and then try and make it look realistic, and then it's okay, what do I want to get out of this? I was learning Blender. I don't know. I didn't have a job at the time, so I was just I sat down at my computer for at least 16 hours a day. And then I was having nightmares where I was trying to animate my breathing and my heart rate. And if I didn't animate those things properly, my breathing would stop and I'd wake up and like, ugh. So,
And you said, let me lean into this. This sounds like a good profession to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, if I'm going to go this hard in it, might as well keep that going. So, yeah, no, I just, from there, like, I'd built rooms and I was like, well, I imagine I can build like a character, and then I would do something like kind of easy, like I don't know, like a ghost with just like eyes and a sheet sort of thing. And you don't have to animate that much. Then you just kind of like keep doing more and more things, the more comfortable you get with the software. And so like for building out a scene, like I'll model like a character, and I like to do it just like, I'm not like trying to go off of like, oh, this is how like a face looks or whatever. Like I'll just do it like, this is sort of what a face looks like, and then here's a body, and that'll probably be fun. And so I just kind of just make these things and then go from there. Like if it was like a weirdo animation, like if it was a more nostalgic thing, then I'll try and be more, I don't know, controlled about it.
Mm-hmm.
And is the colors and the noise, is that all done in render, or are you bringing that over into After Effects and doing a bunch of post work on it?
So yeah, a lot of that's like After Effects stuff as well. But yeah, like I don't know, it's all just like I wanted to have I guess a style or look that kind of reflected what, like something that I hadn't seen before, but like something that spoke to stuff from my past. Because this whole style came about from like being very nostalgic. This was like during COVID times when I was just like feeling very nostalgic for, I don't know, the past and whatnot. But I remember seeing like a Time magazine with like sort of that stippled look on the cover of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of like that. And then like old comic look, I kind of like that. And I was like taking different things from like when I was a kid, just like these little pictures, and I couldn't even tell you like where exactly my, I don't know, the source like images came from. I do remember the Time magazine cover. I don't remember which cover it was. Just that style was stuck in my head, and I tried to like get that. And then as soon as I got it, I'm like, this is something I haven't really seen before. I like it, and I'm just going to keep going with it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I hadn't seen before, or at least done, like I said, intentionally, right? Like I've seen more, when you see it, typically this level of grain or noise in any kind of like video artifacting, it's, it looks kind of like a mistake, right? Like the very first time you see like a low resolution render in 3D, and you're getting like that viewport, like crunchiness. And it feels like, okay, well don't look at this. Like it's not the final. But I mean, it works so well in these pieces. And like Bryan said, in terms of like the color palette for these, it very much like separates you from I would say everybody else.
I feel like that purple and orange especially has become like kind of one of your trademarks. But again, it's easy to spot when I see it, because not a lot of people are using purple in their art.
Purple in art, yeah, is not as prominent as you would think. And then also just having all those like hard shadows, right? Like even those clouds right there that have really dark hard shadows on the clouds. That's, again, typically a lot of people kind of stray away from it, but I love how well that works in your work. When you said like the crunchiness is like or the grain is coming, is that mostly coming from After Effects? Like you figured out, made a filter for it, or is that I know Bryan asked, but I kind of want to like dig in a little bit more, because I'm very curious about the process to get there.
Yeah, I got really into what was it called? Like just I guess collecting different textures and stuff like that in Photoshop, and making like brush filters and stuff like that out of it. But yeah, no, like just finding like something to make things more interesting and like animated. So it's like you can kind of do it like frame by frame, but then you can also animate I guess like automate that a little bit in After Effects. So yeah,
Okay.
it's sort of a weird little thing that I've concocted over the years, and I've changed it up a bunch. Like, I don't know how apparent that is, but
What about I think another thing that is really unique to your work is the way that you handle like the sky, right? And not just like clouds, but like sort of it feels like ribbons of color that flow through. I'm trying to find an example of it. I saw one a moment ago. Not those clouds. There we go. Like this kind of stuff here in the background where it's this like what it almost feels like water, like up in there in the sky.
yeah.
It's really interesting because like I would love to know just like your thought process behind that, because it's something that again I haven't really seen before.
So yeah, like in my mind, like coming up with the style, it was like I wanted like a bit of like psychedelic kind of stuff in there, and for that I had like the image in my mind I had for that was like putting like cream into like coffee or
Hmm.
tea or something like that.
Sure.
But I also kept thinking of that one scene from True Detective when he was like looking out of the car window and looked at the sky and it went like all crazy. In my mind, that's like kind of how it looked. And so I wanted like something between those two things for the skies that I had, just like to add like a little bit of psychedelia, I guess, to my work, just because that's always been something that I've liked.
Yeah. No, I think cream in the coffee is a good example of like what that feels like. And also I guess it really just plays into that dreamlike nostalgia, when you're thinking back about, things like a vanilla sky kind of thing where you don't remember everything perfectly. You're kind of in that dream state and you're seeing things that, with rose tinted glasses kind of. It works really well.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of this stuff is like a lot of these older animations that I was doing, the nostalgia sort of stuff was a lot of it was like memories that I had of like certain places and stuff like that, and I just kind of wanted to get those down. But then the shadows and like the stippled look is it sort of speaks to like the fuzziness of the memory and just like the degradation. I don't know. It was kind of what I was just going.
I know you've also done so,
So cool.
with a comedy background, a bunch of other really incredibly talented people. And I know
Sure.
you put this piece out, which was, we're going to have links to all this stuff at the end of the show. Highly encourage people to go and check them out because like I'm playing things right now. They don't have any audio on our end, but they definitely have really incredible sound design and music. And then this piece here where you collaborated with comedian Thomas Middleditch, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, you got it.
But it's also a wonderful, wonderful piece. I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about this this piece and this project, or
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that just kind of came about from like I was an improviser, and then I went down to when was like 2015. I went down to Del Close Marathon in New York, and I had like an amazing time there. We had a really good slot. We opened for it was the first year of Stephen Colbert's new show, and so his writing team, we opened for them, and then A.D. Bryant of SNL right after that, which was incredible. And like all these amazing people were there. But for that whole weekend, it's just nonstop comedy. Like it's 24 hours a day shows going on at like a bunch of different clubs. So you can go at like 3 a.m, see a show. You go 5 a.m, see a show. You go noon, see a show. And so one of the people I saw there was Thomas Middleditch, and he's incredible. Like he's an amazing improviser. Anyway, so like a couple of years later, I made that By Me sketch, and I was like, oh, I should send this out to a couple people that I like really like in the spaces. It's like 2018, and like a couple people I don't know, and I had like zero, maybe like 1,000 followers on Instagram, so I wasn't like, it wasn't a big deal at all.
Not like today. Not like today.
Not a big deal now. But yeah, no, I sent it to a few people, and he was one of them. And of course, I got like, no one that I like sent it, no one big that I sent it to saw it, but a bunch of my friends were like, "Oh, this is great." And then so I don't know, not that long ago, I was going through, I don't know, my stories on Instagram, and then he was hiking somewhere and posted a picture of like a banana as his lunch, and I was like, "Oh, sweet nanner," and it was just like reply guy, like, "Oh, cool nanner." And then I didn't think anything of it. I was like, yeah, it's just like one of those things where you just reply, and then you're like, "Oh, going on next." And then I saw that I got like a message from him, and then I was like, "Oh, he responded to the nanner thing." But then I opened it up, and I forgot that I had sent him that sketch earlier, and I was like, "Oh no, this was from like 5 years ago. This feels weird." But yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, I like your animation style," and we like chatted about animation for a while, and he's big in animation, obviously, since he does voice work and stuff. So he wanted to collaborate, and I was like, "This is great." Yeah, no. So he sent me just like a quick little audio thing, and I wrote some music and animated towards it, and yeah,
it's wonderful, and people should definitely check it out. That's a really crazy story, man. I think I saw him years ago when he did improv Shakespeare. Which is just, improv is amazing as it is, and that, a language that no one is really speaking it in terms of like how they're describing it. It was fantastic. This is really cool, man. And what a good lesson to be a banana reply guy.
Yeah.
Some say I live in the banana zone.
Oh.
Dude, what do you got going on, like, coming up, like, in terms of, because I know you've done this, obviously, this kind of work. I know you've also done like music videos. I know you worked for a long time on one of them, somewhat recently. And I say that, but it's probably been like 2 years. But where are you in terms of like what you got going on the horizon?
So I haven't been around on the old Twitters that much because I've been working on a little thing for Adult Swim right now.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I'm just trying to finish that up within the next couple of weeks. Should be done.
Wow. Is that going to be like an interstitial or an actual like full-fledged like 15-minute thing?
Or can you talk about it
in between? It's
nice. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm doing something for their Smalls.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about it, but
that's okay.
We'll keep our eyes open for it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, no, I'm stoked. I'm just stoked to be around in there. But yeah, no, I did something for their off the air not too long ago. I
remember that.
Yeah, but that was fun. Just they're incredible to work for. Like they all just seem like they're really stoked on different forms of animation and art, and yeah, everyone's just the nicest and the coolest there.
That's awesome. Well,
that's what I've got coming up.
But that's huge. That's really that's kind of like a dream come true. To have a backing of something that is large enough that it'll get exposure, but also to have the freedom to kind of be yourself in whatever that means. And especially for people like, I don't know, I'm a weird guy. Like I love weird stuff, and to be able to do weird things, like if anyone's willing to help facilitate that kind of a dream, like, more power to them.
I think we're both of the animation world, so we totally get how big of a deal that is.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be awesome to get all these stoners' eyes on your work.
Yeah, no, I'm beyond stoked. Like I remember starting to watch Adult Swim when I was in high school, and just being like, oh, this is exactly what the stuff that I want to see.
Yeah. Old C-Lab days.
Oh,
Yeah. And yeah, it was, I think the first thing I
Coast
saw
to
was Harvey
Coast.
Birdman, actually.
Oh yeah. It's great.
And just like, I'm like,
Space
oh my God.
Ghost.
Yeah.
Space Ghost, Coast to
Space Ghost
Coast.
I found after C-Lab, Venture Brothers after that. But yeah, no, I remember thinking that was like the tops of it. And then I started to like meet people, like some of these people through Instagram, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like this is the path that I've wanted to go on my entire life, basically, or like since high school. So it's like, I guess it makes sense that I'm like trying to get there now. But
yeah, there's always been a weird little. I mean, thinking back even earlier when I was really, might be around the same age. The MTV had Liquid Television, and that was
That's what I was thinking about.
That was the pinnacle. And then there was like Spike and Mike DVDs, and like where do you make this alternative kind of adult cartoon stuff? There isn't a lot of outlets except now on the internet, TikTok, and all these other places. It's kind of exploded in that sense, but for a long time it was like there wasn't a lot of options if you wanted to get eyes on weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Liquid Television was a huge thing, right? Like I very much remember watching that and watching all the kinds of just offbeat animations and cartoons that they would have on there, and thinking like this is like the stuff that gets me excited, you know?
Yeah. So I have a question. How long in general do these take to render for you? I mean, there's a lot of scenes to them, I would say, but what has been like the longest render you've had to sit through for one of your pieces?
The rendering isn't that bad. Well, it depends. Sometimes it's like, yeah. I had to do a music video. I was doing a music video for a K-pop band last year, at the end of last year, and the rendering for that it was a few days, I think. Like it was, I can't remember. I don't know an exact time because I was doing like piece by like scene, I guess scene by scene. But it wasn't short. That was the thing. I think it's like most of the time goes into like like animating everything and then just like making sure it's all good. But then you start to render and then you're like, great, I got to go check and see if everything works. And then you're like, oh, that didn't render properly.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah,
Are you using like Octane or just the base renderer, or any special stuff?
I just use one of the base renderers out of Blender. So yeah, I'm not using anything special. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I would imagine that you have a little bit more play in general, whether it's geometry or whatnot, because of the style that you're working in, because it's not like a hyper real. It's not. But I don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's extra difficult to get things to look the way that you have in your head.
Yeah, I mean, it's it can be easier just because like I'm not like I don't have like the like textures and geometry, but then it can also really strain my computer because a lot of the line work I'm doing through a renderer, and so it's like it's trying to calculate all that stuff. So and just kind of like how I have my projects organized, a lot of the line work will have to like render multiple times per frame. So then that can end up taking like some, like I think one of the crazier ones I did, it was like 2 minutes per frame, which was
not
fun.
No, that doesn't sound like fun at all.
Yeah.
Do you are you still doing anything like the live action shorts, like the Buy Me piece or anything like that, or have you just like dug in more on just animation and behind the camera?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do more live action stuff, but I don't know. All my time's gone into animating. It's I don't know.
Are you still doing improv?
Sorry?
You still doing improv?
No, I haven't done. Well, I mean, like I improvise like a lot of stuff that I do. Like I've been working on like a lot of different things. Like sometimes I'll write stuff, but then I'll like improvise lines and stuff like that. So in that sense I do, but I haven't been up on stage since like the beginning of COVID and like kind of everything went away because I got into, I don't know, I needed that like stuff from my brain. I needed to be liked by people I don't know. So
we don't know anything. We don't know what that's like. That's very strange and unique to you.
Yeah. But it was like, I was, I don't know, just getting that feedback, like when you're on stage and then it's just like, you do something dumb and then you're like, I feel good about myself. I'm getting that like, I don't know,
dopamine
whatever
rush.
Yeah, dopamine. And then that all went away. And then I was like, I'm going crazy. And then so, yeah, doing this animation stuff and then seeing likes come in. I'm like, yeah, more of these.
Yeah. Well, I think what you've tapped into is something I've said a lot, which is I think there's a rhythm that carries through between animation and comedy. It's all, there's a rhythm to the setup, the punchline, the timing. And the same thing goes for music. And how does that play into how you compose for these? Are you doing them all simultaneously? Are you doing the audio at the end and kind of scoring it in that sense? Or how do you go about that?
It depends. Like for the ones, for the pieces that I have up or that you have up now, I would write the score for those afterwards. It was just trying to find like a vibe for that sort of look. But usually I write the music first. Like I've always been writing music like since I was a kid. Like I grew up on a farm and I had 5 stations. So it's like I just needed to fill my time with something.
Wow.
And that was playing music. So yeah, I never really did anything with music, but I did a few music videos. And then the person who I was doing music videos for, they were like, hey, your music is really good. You should, use your own music for these animations. And I started doing that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll like for all the like, I guess weirdo animations I do, like I'll do all these really kind of dumb songs. I'll improvise the lyrics.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
They're funny. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. The new hat. Am I getting it right? I remember it being new, where the character finds the hat in the trash.
Yeah.
Gets excited about it. Super catchy. Like it's I've said it before. I'm always impressed by anyone who can do anything with music in terms of like beyond just pressing a few buttons. Like it's such an impressive side of I don't know, creativity for, in my opinion. And you do it really well. There's a lot, I feel like you could easily put out an album or multiple albums of this kind of, background music that you've done. And then even the silly stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I would ever like go around like calling myself like I'm an amazing musician or anything, but like I have so much fun doing it. Like it's just sitting down, writing music, like whatever it is, if it's like for like a more serious piece or if it's for like this goofy thing where I get to like improvise a bunch of stupid lyrics about, I don't know, not being able to tie a shoe or something. It's so fun. And then, and then I get to like animate a bunch of dumb stuff to it. Love it. I don't know.
I think that's why it's so good, because the passion to just do it comes through. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's kind of all it is for me. Like, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
All righty, and that's the show. Actually, I don't know. I think we should check out some other people's animations too, because you guys have both brought some really cool work to share with us for show and tell. Yeah. You think we can do it? Do a little show and tell?
I'm mesmerized by all these animations.
They're so good, right?
I could watch these for a while, but yes, we should.
So this is the part of the show where Bryan,
I appreciate this deep dive into the work.
Yeah, we could just sit there and just watch this. I mean, it is they're great, and they work really great as loops too, right? Like in terms of and storytelling. Just straight up, environments and characters, storytelling, and I don't know. I feel like that's it's done really well. So yeah,
Thank you
on
so
that on that note, let's do a little show and tell and look at some other artists and them
All
telling their
right.
stories. Here we go. Little show and tell. Okay, this is the part of the show where I clear my throat and then I tell everybody that each of us has brought pieces of art that we did or just really enjoy and want to.
Is your mic cutting out? Are you hearing that, Ryan?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a Peanuts adult.
Yeah, it was like cutting in and out for a second.
Any better now? Is this any better? Eddie better?
It is better, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. This is the part of the show where I try to explain to people what we do. And it is work that either we have collected or just connected with and want to share with the world. Did that come through?
Yes.
Now I'm just
Sure.
paranoid. So I'm going to just
You're
ask
great.
that every 10 seconds. Great. All right. Let's kick this off. Ryan, let's start with you, sir. Here we go. This is a piece that you wanted to share. There it is. There we go. This is Magic Wave by Scott Carr.
Oh, bring it up. It's not on the.
Oh, well, I'm watching it, guys. Isn't that good enough? I'll describe it to you.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So Scott Carr makes amazing animations. Like I didn't know which one to pick from their work, so I just kind of chose this one, which I really like. But they're all just like hand done and look cool.
Yeah.
It does.
This reminds me of the clouds in your sky.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I definitely connected with it. With I don't know, just the hand drawn look of it, and
I love
wiggly
the fur,
vibes.
the wiggly fur. Like
Yeah.
it's it finally answers the question: what if Endless Summer was with Yetis?
Yeah. It has a bit of like a rotoscope feel to
Yeah.
it. Really cool. I love the vibe.
Yeah, a lot of their work seems to be like have like that rotoscope look, but oh man, I'm just every time I watch these loops, I'm just like, yes, this vibe is I like.
I'd
Yeah.
like to think that the artist is dressing up in a Yeti costume, filming it, and then rotoscoping it. That's my hope.
Well, it's
We can
always a
only
good
dream.
loop when like I can tell it's only like 1 second long, maybe, but it really feels like 10 seconds. It's a really solid composition that feels like it just keeps flowing.
It's also
Yeah,
just really relaxing.
It is.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Can you click on his profile? Can we see some of his
We're
other
gonna
pieces?
go in. Here we go. Let's see if it works.
Nice.
Nice. I think if I click Super Rare kind of changed how things work a bit.
That's how they do.
That's sleepy, exhausted bird.
Yeah. Nice.
Very
Dig
cool, man.
Good
Yeah.
choice. And that one's available.
Look at that. 0.3. All
Not
right.
bad, not bad.
All right. Very good. All right, Brian, you've got a piece that you're sharing here.
Oh yeah. What did I pick?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Jack
Hmm.
Dorsey, a decentralized
Pick the
portrait from
Coldy piece.
the great Coldy, man.
Yes, Coldy, one of the OGs. Someone I learned a lot from early on. I followed his lead on how to do auctions back before it was an automated process on Super, and you had to do it all via like tweets.
Mm.
But this project, I love the work itself, but I really love the mechanics that he built into it, which was he sold 240 editions of this animation. But what ended up happening was each frame of the animation then splits off, so everyone gets a 1 of X frame of the animation, and then one person raffled got the animated NFT as a bonus 1 of 1 animation. And so if you go look at the actual collection, you can see each one's a different frame, and the actual piece is super insane, wild, flickering craziness because you had to make enough of a change between each frame to make each one unique. So basically, it's like a strobe effect animation. But then because of that, you get 240
Variety.
unique frames that you can sell as kind of a one of X PFP collection. So I just thought that was a pretty awesome mechanic and project for Coldy.
That's really cool. These, for some reason, I thought they were ordinals.
He did a similar mechanic with his ordinals where it was like this dollars pumping video, but that was not nearly as many frames, if I remember right.
Oh, this is really cool. Oh, wow. Just imagine just like getting like a nostril.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see this animated piece now.
I don't know if the animation is in this collection. It might be.
That's really
I
cool.
don't know if there's a way to search for it. I might be at the very end. Or
so would all these frames be in like 24 frames a second, or is it like
29.97?
Based on the 24.
Okay.
I would guess they were 30 frames a second. And what was that? 24 divided by 30 is 6 seconds long or something. Maybe that math works out.
Still, it's a really cool.
But
concept.
maybe go to traits and see if there's like an animated trait. It's possible that he minted the animation on a separate. Oh, up at the top it says, here's how you do it. Click on Coldy's name right there. And then go to created. So there's additions. I wonder if you scroll down a little bit, if there it is, that very first one.
Yeah.
This guy.
No, up. It's got a little play button in the bottom right. There it is. That's the animated one.
There it is. Let's take a look. Whoa.
Wild.
Yeah, that's how you get variation right there. Whoa. And then, the kind of like that's very classic Coldy in terms of how stuff moves about in that sort of 2.5D space and cut up, and that's really cool.
That's cool. Just a fun way of thinking about how to release animation.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Awesome.
Yeah, that's very
Still learning from him.
Yeah.
4 years later.
He's a great dude. And when I came into the space, you were kind enough to be like, "Hey, my friend Adam's here," and he was like one of the first few people who was just on board to be like, "Okay, cool. What's up, Adam?" I was like, I had no idea who he was, but he was just super friendly. And then people were like, "Wait, you met him?" And I was like, "Well, we were just talking to him. He's a nice guy." Like, very. I don't know, from you and from Coldy and some of the other OGs, I've kind of like, that was where I learned the sort of, the way things are here, which is just like, man, just be nice and just be open to meeting people, talking to people, helping people out. So yeah, thanks for being a part of that stewardship.
Of course. Should also give a shout out to Jake Fried, who also did a similar type of drop with his night visions, which are all frames of his animation as well.
And that makes sense. Just the way his ridiculously intense animations, each one of them is a frame, is a painting.
Yeah. His style's great.
Yeah. Very cool. All right.
What did you bring, Adam?
What did I bring? Here we go. We got this piece here. This is Abundance by Brutal. He's put out a whole bunch of different collections in the last year or so, but I think this one was my favorite. Like this bunch of stuff, really cool, abstract. I believe it's AI, but just the colors really struck me. The energy really hit.
Can you blow it up a little more?
I would love to. Can I? I don't know. Is that too much? Is it? There it is.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Look at that.
Yes.
I love the textures.
Yeah, I like that there's some solid geometry on that left side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right
no, I
up
was
in
looking
here.
at that.
Breaks it up.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. It's AI, you said?
I think it is. I do.
It's impressive.
And then, maybe if I'm wrong, he'll correct me in the comments. But regardless, and that's kind of where my head's at with any of the AI discussion. If it makes me, feel something, or if I look at something and I enjoy it, unless you're claiming that you're someone else and stealing their work, I like it. I like what I like.
Yeah.
I've never like known like how to look at abstract work. Like I when I see like abstract stuff that I like it, but I just never know like I don't know how to
critique.
yeah, like I guess I've never been in like a position to like critique stuff, but like this I like, but it's just like I don't know why. I don't know what makes like a good abstract piece apart from like a bad like there's like a bad one I see that I'm like I don't like that one, but then I'll see one I do like I like it, but I have no idea why I would like one or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so subjective, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I guess just with any art, but I think it's when it comes to abstract art, it really has to land with the person in terms of the aesthetic or the feeling that they get from it. Because like it's that's to me that's what it is. It's like when you walk away from something like this, you either feel something or you don't, right? Like
Yeah.
because I've seen abstract art where I'll look at it and I'm like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
and I just keep moving. But then there's stuff like this with like, I think it's contrast, it's color.
Yeah.
For me at least, it's texture, it's variety in texture for me. I love the little thin squigglies in the top left yellow like area. I love the thicker ones. I love that there's you know uh shapes that are happening here that aren't fully formed, that bleed into other shapes. And the subtle geometry to it too.
I would say for me, I struggle the same way. What I tend to be drawn to, and maybe it's my animation background, is how does it direct my eye around? Is it forcing me to look around? And what I see here is there's these curvatures, that's brush strokes. There's these angles that kind of direct your eye in different ways. There's bright colors. There's deeper, like in those top left, that kind of scratchiness draws your eye because you're like, is that something? Is that a drawing? What is that? Like, so those are the things that I look at it as like, is there enough going on that forces me to look around the whole piece? That kind of directs me around. And if it does, then it's probably a nice full piece. If I'm stuck in one corner and I'm not looking at the other 3/4 of a painting, then in my opinion, it's probably not doing enough or something like that. But
Unless
it's my take.
Maybe unless it's negative space, right? Like intentional negative space.
Yeah.
Like
That's cool.
I think for this piece for me, like I guess maybe because it's like it was smaller when it was first opened, but like I kept looking at it like I don't know, like my brain wants to make like a I don't know, a definable image out of it. And then so I'm just like I keep looking at it and it's just like, whoa, what do I see in this? And like I'm starting to see like a gas station, like a car parked in like the thing. And then so it's like putting this scene together for me. And I'm like, oh man, that's really cool. And I start looking at these other stuff, like it's like my brain's trying to like make sense of it, but then it's leading me in different places there and I get different feelings out of it. I don't know. That's what I kind of dig out of this.
Yeah, I see like a rocket in the top there. That's sort of like that pointy, like almost like a missile.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe that's an interesting, contributing factor to people connecting with abstract art. Is it something that forces you to, want to see things in it versus stuff that's so abstracted that it doesn't invite you to connect with it in terms of like making discernible images or pictures from it? No.
Interesting.
Cool.
That's
all right,
art, baby.
That is art. You know what? I'm gonna throw this out there. I think that this. See if I can do it. I think this is good stuff.
That's good stuff.
I think so. I think I'm certified.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, let's move back to you, sir. The second piece you have chosen to share is Drown in Tears by Fleur de Lure. Very, very interesting. Look at that. Let's bring this up. Whoa.
Yeah, I all their work I really, really love. I think like when I first got into NFTs, like and through Twitter, like I found their work and just I don't know, their stuff really spoke to me. And like this piece, I really like how they use the canvas to interact with the tears, and that's that was pretty cool.
That's powerful.
It is cool though. The negative space or the lack of what is not there speaks really loudly.
Drowned in the tears.
Drowning in tears, but also just I don't know. There's a lot there. Also, no, it's a completely hairless figure, right? There's no eyelashes. There's no eyebrows. There's
no ear.
No ear, even. Yeah.
It's very kind of painterly. I wonder what they used. Does it say how they made it? Is it physical? Digital? I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure of their process, but a lot of their work is like it's all this sort of style.
Yeah.
And I was just a big fan.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Well, that's really cool.
Awesome.
Very good. Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks.
Fleur de Lure. Big fan.
Fleur de Lure.
Fleur de Lure, yeah.
We I've said it before, I'll say it again. We will have links to all the pieces that we talked to today. Talked about. Words escape me right now. Okay, Brian. We got from you, sir. It is not just one piece is next, but a series of pieces born out of something pretty damn cool. This is from the Madame Silky Rio art residency, which is still minting right now. And it is, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So it's a residency that they got a dozen or so, maybe 24 artists fly out to Rio, spend a week making art. And then at the end of it, they took the art they made and they put it into this like kind of super NFT that uses transient labs so that you can choose, this is the back end essentially. And if you press that purple button, it'll make that NFT what the NFT looks like in your wallet. Nice. And so you basically have a rotating option to change this out as much as you want. And you can kind of pick and choose when or how it's displayed and all this other stuff. But I just think it's a really cool idea of taking this collaboration between all these artists and making it so you buy one NFT and you get 16 different pieces all within one token. And it's filled with a bunch of awesome artists that many of which have been guests on our show in the past, like Mumbad and F. Dot, Alamo. And, it's just a real, in terms of bang for your buck, it's a really cool NFT in my opinion, and it's still minting. Like you said.
No, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And to have this many pieces tied to a single NFT is really awesome too.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times you see something like that and it's just the same. It's one artist tied, like multiple pieces tied to a single NFT. But this is cool to see like a bunch of artists all coming together and willing to be a part of this singular experience. This is great. And the residency looked amazing.
Yeah, I looked like that a lot. I saw a bunch of the people. They were in New York last week for a talk at Benzie's Gallery. But yeah, no, I'm very proud of everybody involved, and it was a big lift. And I think they're going to keep doing more. And they painted this mural in Rio. Just awesome.
Good stuff. Very cool. And it's, I don't know, it's also really encouraging anytime, someone like Madame Selke comes in and, goes ahead and like is a true patron of the arts and actually encourages, and helps artists, further their craft by giving them opportunities like this.
Yeah,
Very
shout out to a bunch of collectors pitched in on it too, whether it was Whitmere, Blondie, or Sendrock, and a few other people making it happen. So it's just awesome to see how the space keeps supporting,
Yeah.
kind of elevating artists.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I know 452B also jumped in there.
Yeah, OG. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Very
the
cool, man.
But yeah,
Very
any
cool.
chance to collect an Alamo piece?
Oh, I know. I got one. I don't know if you can't see it in this little tiny video. I got one behind me in the wall. I got a Brinkman back there too.
Ooh, very
Yeah.
nice.
I got to get a better
Alamo's great.
frame for it. Alamo is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think he picked up one of my pieces from today's drop. So
Ooh,
shout out Alamo.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
what a
Man.
guy.
He's a
That
good
F
dude.
dot piece is so different. That one right there. It doesn't look like it's normal stuff, but I really dig it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, I didn't realize.
Of course, Rebecca, past guest.
Mm-hmm. This is like half of these are past guests.
I know. It's a good
Awesome.
group.
It is a solid group.
Great group.
So I know they're working on doing another round of it next year. So if any artists are watching, follow Selkie.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Good stuff, man. All right. We're gonna keep it moving. Here we go. Whoa. We'll go here to this piece that I found I do not own but thought was very cool.
Whoa.
Still life. I don't knows with a 1 for the eye. Just I say it all the time. I like work that stops me in my tracks. I don't know much about the work or the artist, but I just know I like what I like. I don't know if I can make it bigger. See if this works. But the detail is just stunning. I love this flower that's kind of coming almost, it's behind, but almost coming out of the figure's face. And, the flower is just erupting from inside.
Is it a collage? Is it painted? It's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you because I didn't do enough research.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's also one of those things where you go to a
Powerful.
museum and you may not know much about the artist. It'll say a tiny little blurb, but you might not get too much info, and you just enjoy what you got. But I will link their Twitter profile and this piece, and people can reach out. It's really cool.
Yeah, their stuff is super rad. Like they're among one of my favorites as well. I was almost going to bring in a I don't know's piece as well. So
Okay,
very
look at
exciting.
that, amazing. we also
That's consensus right there.
yeah, we have a common theme that sometimes happens on the show where one of our guests will come in and say like, how about this piece? And then I have to be like, I love that piece, but we featured that artist like twice already. And 3 other people want to feature them. And I've turned them down just because I want to get more eyes on more people. But
It is collage artist.
okay. Surrealism, collage artist. It's fantastic. Fantastic work. Look at that.
I'd say this is good stuff.
I would say
All right,
so.
man. You know what? Here it goes. We're going. Bring it in.
Nice.
All right. 3 more to go. Here you go, Ryan. This was your last one. You brought Nihilist Nomad in Space Time by Lauren Ipsum, which, few names are as good as that.
It's true. Yeah, this style I love so much. I don't know what else to say about it.
You don't have to. I mean, you can just
Yeah.
say that, and then we can just sit there and just be in awe. It looks. I don't know much about them. Is it painted? Is it AI? Is it a combination of things? I don't know, but I love the motion in there, and also again, just sort of this, the story of this like faceless character that's just going through the motions through life and through these like, otherwise maybe mundane situations, but it's really making it really interesting.
I really like it. It's really cool.
Yeah,
It's like it's a day in the life, but told through a flip books form.
Yeah, I love the story so much. It's the textures and everything. Like I think it's like animating textures always really like captures my attention so well. But yeah, I love how it looks.
Yeah, the flat, simple backgrounds too. It's really neat. I mean, the foreground looks like a rotoscoped character that's kind of like this painterly thing, and then the background could be all painted or it could be AI, but then they use that kind of like brush to create the mask on it really nicely.
And there's an
Just
overall
really well executed. I don't know exactly how it's done, but it works really well.
Yeah, and each one of these is its own frame painting. Each one of these as a still works really well.
Yeah, it seems like there's also a layer that goes in the foreground of the whole thing of just some like glitches in writing and text and stuff, because it kind of goes over the shoulder on the left side there.
Oh, there you go. And I see like a canvas texture over the whole thing too.
Yeah, awesome.
Very
Good
nice.
find. Wow.
Sweet.
Big
And it's
fan of
available.
Warren Ipsum. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, Brian, your last piece of the day. Let's see. Oh, yes. Here we go. We're diving deep into the Antiverse.
Yes. So I went to that Christie's Art and Tech Summit last week, and one of the things they did was people that were able to earn a unique, nice antis piece, and they created this series that I think is pretty awesome. Just from a surrealism AI perspective, it's just a really fun, and a lot of their work in the past has felt very close to the subjects, like really zoomed in on faces or like in a room. I thought this was a really fun departure for them, where it's this like really huge scenery filled with things going on. Pretty amazing. And Nice Antis, I would say right now is one of the probably top 10 for sure AI artists in the space. So I was very psyched to get this. It's very cool. And the series is cool.
Yeah. It's really cool when you see, someone taking a concept and really taking the time to explore it, especially when it comes to AI, because I know there's often a tendency to just jump around a lot, like making cool things to make cool things. But when there's a story or like Nice Antis, in some form or another, you kind of know the world that they've been building and what you're going to get versus, oh, this is like a really cool scene with like, nothing to do with the universe that they've been building. It's cool that they've, drawing, upon a singular kind of overarching concept and then exploring it.
It's a great piece for a digital display too, because there's so much to look at in it. I think it just looks nice, blown up big.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like you could like I like how you're like going through every little bit of it here, but there's like anywhere you look, there's something going on, and there's all these little stories all involved in this one big atmosphere,
Yeah.
And this is one of 170 unique pieces from the collection. So
we'll see how many of them.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, we'll see how many of these get lost versus the Robbies this time.
Yeah, right.
I don't. I mean, you never know, but I feel like they've at least got a good shot.
Yeah, it seems like there's an overall theme with like floods and other things. If you look at like the traits and the collection itself.
Yeah, I go back in here. Very cool. Wow, so much detail. That's great.
AI's getting wild.
AI has been wild since day one, my man.
That's true. It didn't used to look so clear and detailed.
And
I
good.
feel like it's really getting good now.
It is. Although I've said it, in the past, sometimes I like, messing around in Midjourney and then seeing how great it is and then running it back the same prompt through version 1 or 2
Yeah.
and just being just seeing the beautiful nightmares that it can create. All right. Last piece of the day, and then we'll get people on their way. This is a piece that caught my eye. Tran Volpe, if I'm saying it right. La Prisma Mata. This was just a really
You gotta zoom in.
gorgeous
There you
piece.
see
Yeah,
it.
I'm working on it.
The background reminds me of Ryan's colors a little bit.
A little
And has
bit.
that
I was about to
gradient.
say, I really like this piece.
I don't remember making this piece.
No, those colors like really caught my attention. I was like, ooh, I like it.
That's wild.
Right?
It looks
I don't
looks
think
illustrated, right? I don't
It
think it's
does.
AI. Maybe
It
it could
does
be
look
AI, but it looks
anything
illustrated.
can be AI, but it does kind of look illustrated, and it does look like somebody labored over
Yeah,
the
it looks
details.
purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's very cool. I dig that.
Yeah. Ever since I was a kid, and like I've been really drawn to neon colors when looking at art, and I think a lot of that was like having a teacher who was super anti neon colors, and I was like, why? This is cool. Like I really wanted to lean into that, and it was like, oh, it hurts their eyes. I was like, I think that's actually a pretty cool thing if it like kind of makes you do a double take or squint, or you have to really like focus in on something like that. So yeah, no, this and the detail in this is just gorgeous.
Great choice. What's the artist name one more time?
The artist name one more time, La Prismata. La Prismata. Yeah.
Oh, Spartan Blackout, of course. The guy gets all the good stuff.
Luis, very very cool graphic style. Yep, I believe he is illustrating these.
Wow.
Just oh my goodness.
Look at that piece. That's insane.
Hold on, let's click into this one. Come on. Whoa. Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's incredible. Yeah, I would just get lost in there, and I love the yellow, and just it's every color, but it's also not like you're using those like primarily orange and warm tones, and just find the figure. So
Great
much.
find.
Very cool. Well, all right, very good, guys. That is kind of bring us to the end of the show. I want to thank you, Ryan, for joining us today and taking us through your process and showing us what you do. Is there anything else that you want to pitch before we go? I know you mentioned the stuff with Adult Swim, which we can't wait, and as soon as that's ready, just let us know, and we'll tweet that out as soon as we can.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing I wanted to add is that I'm such big fans of both of you, and I love your works, and I'm just very honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute delight to talk to you both.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Mutual. The feeling is mutual, though.
Yeah.
So
excited to have you on.
Yeah. Well, all right. Then thank you again. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today to check us out. Clearly not on our X Twitter Art First account, but that is where we will post links to all the stuff we talked about. So please go give the artist some love. And I guess then we will talk to you guys in the next one. And take care, everybody. Have a good one.
Good one.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.